You know each other. He's a friend from work.
This video is brought to you by gamersgrass.com. Hi and welcome to GamersWeb. My name is Mark and we're going to carry on our look at the Marvel Crisis Protocol miniature expansions, and we're looking at CP11, which is Thor and Valkyrie of the Asgardian faction, and this gives us two brand new miniatures and a brand new faction. I've already covered Hela and Loki because they came first in my previous review. The link will be down at the bottom, and or maybe up here, depends on where ever it decides to go. But this is a quick look at Thor and Valkyrie, and as always my full review and my thoughts will be up on GamersWeb. Okay, Thor and Valkyrie for Asgard. Thor, Prince of Asgard, son of Odin, the All-Father, wields the mighty hammer Mjolnir, which grants him command over lightning and storms. As an Asgardian, Thor is blessed with superhuman stamina, durability and speed, and stands as one of the strongest beings in the universe. A stalwart member of the Avengers, Thor never rests in his fight to prove himself worthy. The fierce warrior Valkyrie is leader of the legendary Asgardian Valkyr, Odin's personal unit of shield maidens. Her Asgardian physiology grants her superhuman strength, stamina and durability, but it's her extensive martial training and her skill with a blade that places her among the greatest fighters in all of Asgard. Includes one Thor miniature, one Valkyrie miniature, two bases, two character stack cards, two team cards, one crisis card, one affiliation card, and 15 tokens. Miniatures always supplied unpainted and unassembled. Okay, so let's just jump straight in. Now, as you can tell if you read through the review, or if the review led you to here for this video, I've got a deep affinity for Thor and Norse mythology. Thor has long been one of my favourite characters in the Marvel pantheon, and I've always been interested since I was a very small child, and my grandfather introduced me to the Kirk Douglas, Tony Curtis movie, The Vikings. I've been obsessed with Norse mythology and Vikings, so much so that I really still plan on doing a degree in Norse mythology at some point. Anyway, this is based on the comic book versions of Thor and Valkyrie, not the movie versions. They are slightly different, just the same as the comic book versions of Hela and Loki are vastly different than the ones that you see in the MCU. So let's jump in. Okay, so we have our two painted miniatures on the front, and a card separator. We have our assembly instructions, and we have our two bags. One with two sprues and two bases. Sorry, four bases. The sprues are slightly bigger on these than the other Asgardians, including Hela, for some reason. Okay, we have our assembly guide with no extra rules or anything on it. There's been a bit of controversy, as always, about the small pieces. So Thor's helmet is in 3 pieces, and Valkyrie's helmet, again, is in 3 pieces. If I can find whereabouts she is. Yeah, because apparently Valkyrie's helmet is in 3. It doesn't look like it, but I will check that out when I come to see it. Okay, so just follow the instructions, quite simple to go through. What I'm going to do is going to look at the miniatures first, and then we'll look at the cardboard, because the other way around with Loki and Hela. Okay, so we get our 4 Marvel Crisis Protocol miniature bases with our obligatory street furniture, which is like a Coke can or a bottle, and what looks like a Starbucks cup or something like that. And then we have our 2 miniatures. So this one is the Thunderer himself. This is Thor. The pose is very, very dramatic. The lines of animation are fantastic. This is one of the best looking miniatures of the entire range of Marvel Crisis Protocol. I know I say that quite a lot because they're all quite good, but let's have a look at the facial details on this bad boy here. Okay, so that jaw is the jaw of a god. You know, Captain America may have America's ass. That's a jaw of a god. You know, very good. Apparently it goes together quite well. I've seen some brilliant conversions up on the Facebook groups, especially on Marvel Crisis Protocol Worldwide. Some excellent conversions where people have attached lightning to Mjolnir. Then we have Valkyrie. Now, Valkyrie is in 3 parts. Her head is the 2 sides of her with the braids, and then there's a face which glows together. I don't think it's going to be that difficult to assemble. She looks like she's quite a straightforward miniature, and she's got 2 swords, one of which is Dragon Fang, which is her sword from the comics. Okay, we now have our cardboard, which consists of our card counters. So we get 4 different hammer counters. They're for the objective, for the crisis card, which I will look at in a moment. We've got these lightning cards, Panic, Bleed, and Asgardian faction affiliation tokens. We have our 2 cards which we'll look at as well in a moment, and then we have our roster card, which is Thor, Prince of Asgard, who is your leader, then Hela, Queen of Hell, Loki, God of Mischief, Valkyrie, and then finally Angela. Angela is slightly different character. She was more or less gifted to Marvel by Neil Gaiman, the author, after him and Todd McFarlane created the character for another company, and him and Gaiman had a bit of an argument, and so Gaiman and McFarlane had an argument, and Gaiman actually gifted Valkyrie to the Thor universe. She's an amalgamation of Hela's origin in the movies, as in she's Thor's long-lost half-sister. Okay, so we get 2 team tactic cards, Thunderwave and Odin's Blessing, and we also get our crisis card, which is an 18 threat, and it is an extraction, and fear grips the world as worthy terrorizes citizens. Right, okay, so place 4 Celestial Hammers assets, which are the counters, as set up on map D. Players score 1 victory point for each Celestial Hammer held by a character they control during the cleanup phase. Interact with Celestial Hammer, pick up a Celestial Hammer. Characters add 1 dice to their attack value for each Celestial Hammer they are holding. When a character plays a team tactic card, they must play an additional power for each Celestial Hammer they are holding, which makes it quite expensive, but they still do quite a lot of damage. Okay, right, so look at the cards. Thunderwave. It's got artwork by Greg Smallwood. It's unaffiliated, active. If Thor, Prince of Asgard, activation is within range 1 of an allied Captain America, they may spend 2 power each to play this card. Whilst within range 1 of Captain America, Thor, Prince of Asgard, may use the Thunderwave attack as shown above. Once range and line of sight are measured from Captain America instead of the Prince of Asgard making this attack. Okay, it's beam 5, it does 6 damage, and it costs no power. Well, it does actually cost power. It costs 2 power for each of the 2 carriers, so it's 4 power altogether. It's basically, if you actually look at the picture, it's striking Cap's shield, vibranium shield with Mjolnir, as you see in the movies, and it'll send out a shockwave. And then we have Odin's Blessing, which has got a great picture of the Allfather in the background and Thor leaning forward. Asgard reactive. When an allied Asgard character may be damaged by an enemy attack, they may spend 3 power to play this card, reduce the amount of damage to suffered to 1. So basically, they play this card, play 3 power, which is quite easy for an Asgardian to do, and they take the damage down to 1. Another way to heal Hela, because Hela's already got lots of ways to heal herself. Okay, so I'm going to leave Thor till last. I'll look at Valkyrie first. Okay, so Valkyrie is Brunhild, or Brunhilde, depending on which way you want to look at her. She's got a stamina of 6, she's got a movement of medium, she's human size, so she's size 2. She's got a threat level of 3. She's got 3 for physical, energy and mystical defense. Strike is range 2, does damage 5 and costs 0 power. After this attack is resolved, the character gains power equal to the power dealt. Damage dealt, sorry. Strike 2 is Dragon Fang, which is her sword. It's got a range 2, it does 7 damage and costs 3 power. After the attack is resolved, this character gains the Bleed special condition and a Flurry on a wild. After this attack is resolved, this character may make a strike attack. Okay, and her other abilities are, she has Asgardian Might. Choose an interactive terrain feature or enemy character of size 2 or less within range 2 and throw it small. This superpower can be used once per turn, costs 2 points. Charge. This character is an action. This character may make an immediate move action followed by an attack action. This superpower can be used once per turn and costs 2 points. Warrior of Legend. During the next attack made by this character, this turn, it may change 1 die to a hit for each crit or wild in its attack roll. Sorry, it's quite difficult to read. The symbols are always quite small. That costs 2 points. And she's an Asgardian, so she gets an additional power every turn. So instead of 1 power, she gets 2 power. On the flip side, the only thing that changes is our strength goes down to 5. Her stamina goes down to 5. Everything else is exactly the same. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at the Thunderer himself. This is Thor, Prince of Asgard, or Thor Odinson. He's got a strength of movement of. Sorry, I'll start again. He's got a stamina of 6, movement of medium. He's got a size of 2 because he's only a human size, even though he's quite big, and he's got a threat level of 5. He's got a physical and an energy defense of 4 and a mystical defense of 3. I think that's probably wrong because his mystical defense should be lower than that because Thor's always getting mind tricked by Enchantress. But we'll have to wait and see if they retcon that further down the line. So his abilities, he's got Strike, which has got a range 2. It does 6 damage and costs no power. After this attack is resolved, the character gains power equal to damage it dealt. And on a wild throw, before damage is dealt, if the target is size 4 or less, the character may throw it away short because he's so strong. And it basically just Thor just smacking his hammer onto the floor and knocking everybody over. He's got Hammer Throw, which has got a range of 5 damage and 1 power. After this attack is resolved, the character gains the Shock special condition. And then he's got God of Thunder, which doesn't have any description on it, but it's A2, which I'm not sure what that's meant to mean. It does 7 damage and costs 6 power. I think this may be a misprint. I know there's a misprint on one of the cards. Okay, and then he's got Prince of Asgard affiliation. At the start of each turn, one of your characters, allied characters, may spend a power to remove 1 damage or special condition from that character. Each allied character may use this leadership once per round, which is quite good for getting rid of special conditions. For Asgard, it costs 3 power. Action. This character immediately makes a move action followed by a strike action if this action dealt at least 1 damage. The target gains the stagger special condition. This superpower may be only used once per turn. So basically, if you hit with your strike, spend 3 power for Asgard, and then make another strike straight away if you've done damage. That can be quite nasty. Okay, Strongest Avenger, costs 3 power. Choose an interactive terrain feature or enemy character of size 4 or less within range 2 and throw it medium. This superpower can only be used once per turn. He's an Asgardian, so he gains 1 additional power in the power phase, and he's got flight because he can fly. So he treats all terrain as size 5. We'll flip him over. Okay, so he went from having a stamina of 6 to having a stamina of 8, so he's gone up by 2 points. Everything else stays the same. He's still got, for Asgard, Strongest Avenger, Asgardian, and Flight. So the only thing that I'm not sure of is this God of Thunder. I'll have to double check with the guys and see what the actual full ruling on that is. But that's a quick look at the Thor and Valkyrie expansion for Marvel Crisis Protocol. What I'll do is I will get these assembled and put the links in the description down below with the rest of the review, because they're going to be up on my review on Gamers Web. And they are really good miniatures. They're very nice. And Loki and Hela, I was a little bit daunted at first with Loki's... sorry, not Loki, Hela's stance. It's still a bit strange, it doesn't look perfect, but it's a nice miniature. The Loki miniature is fantastic. It's one of the best yet. In fact, I think it's probably the best yet so far. And I'm really looking forward to getting these up and painted, and then I can actually play with them. As always, I've been Mark, and thank you for tuning in. Just before I go, got a link down below to two sites. One, there's quite a few links, but two that I would like you to visit. One is Gamer Grass. These guys produce some amazing pre-painted epoxy bases. They're ideal for Marvel Crisis Protocol. They come with lots of terrain already on them, such as like jerry cans and stuff like that. And the other link is to the Worthy painting competition. Now, you don't have very much time to get your finger out and get this done, because the two events take place. One is at Adepticon in the end of March, and the other one in Chicago, and the other one is in the UK at Birmingham NEC at UK Games Expo. I'll be covering the UK Games Expo event because I'm going there. So that's that. So any comments, as always, are welcomed, and please like and share and subscribe, and all the usual gubbins that you get on Facebook, or that you get on YouTube, because every little bit helps us. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a fantastic day. Goodbye.